yes. No. No, I can't. Oh, I can be reasonably cunning. No one's jumping into the shots, it's not good. Oh, he's gone down there. More mage use.
What? I died.
Well.
Yeah.
What, while being AFK?
Yeah.
Sorry, that's just how more sympathetic.
I say that as I'm surprised. And as if it's the first time. And as if I shouldn't have known better.
Fly into the nothingness, or were you standing in the wrong place at the wrong time?
I was standing in the right place at the wrong time. I knew where I was. I shouldn't have been standing there. And I should have known better. Better if you take it in slow. And I'm not speaking from experience.
By dying, apparently. Really?
Did you ever play Lost Vikings?
No, I've not heard of
Um, it seems a bit like Trine, but like one of Blizzard's first games, actually. Basically, you have characters, and in order to pass off skills, you have to swap between the 3 of them. Yeah,
Ah,
like,
yes, I think I've seen like a front of the game box thing. Yes, that rings a bell.
Yep.
They showed it on BlizzCon.
Yeah. Yeah, it's old as hell. I downloaded it and played it a couple years ago when Blizzard first introduced their like Battle.net online store.
Right.
They put a couple of their arcade games up on there.
Yeah.
And I downloaded all of them. I didn't buy any of them, so I only get to play the demo of them. But Lost Vikings, if I were old enough at the time, I probably would have just bought it myself.
Our heroes carried on.
But,
the wizard delved deeper into the inscription.
my parents were not as
There had once
modern,
been 3 artifacts. One
as
for
I
the
was,
soul and
so
righteousness, one
in
for
order
the
for me
mind
to
and
get
power,
like
and one for the body and
a
mind.
half hour of game time,
These immortal
I had to read a
objects
book
have been used to
for a
balance
fucking
all
hour.
good and evil in the world.
It depends on the
When everything
book.
was in harmony.
No.
The artifacts had been
No,
given to
any
the 3
book.
guardians, who had kept them
actually,
safe
no,
for
it did
centuries.
actually depend on the book, because
The
comic
guardians
books
enchanted the
weren't good
artifacts
enough.
with
Because I tried that, and I was
powerful
like, but I read a comic book
It
for
only allowed those
an
with
hour,
pure
and they were
intents
like,
to come near.
that doesn't count. I was like, we just did a book!
Eventually the guardians passed
Book!
away, and only the charms remained.
Bastards. Still bitter about that.
You're American, you should have gone, yeah, I've got a copy of Das Kapital here by Karl Marx. Will that do?
I believe it's because of the Trine that our physical images can be resurrected.
Yeah. It was a half hour of game time, or a half hour of reading, or an hour of reading for a half hour game time, or I could write a book report for an hour and a half of game time.
Reading every time.
Which required me to read a whole book and then write a 2-page report on the book. And somehow that was fair. I didn't quite understand that, but
It depended if that was cumulative, whether you read a book over like a 5-day period and then wrote the report, you then get your 1.5 hours.
no, like I couldn't build up time.
So you had to read a whole book and then write. Well,
Yeah. Well, not all at once, but like I could read the book and then write the report, and then I would get, the hour and a half, regardless of how long it took me to read the book and write the report. But I couldn't like accumulate time. But for example, I couldn't say like I read a book for 6 hours over a week, and then try and accumulate that time into the hour and a half. I think my max was actually 2 hours total at one time that I could play.
right.
And I think part of the reason that was because they knew that when I got home, which was like 2 hours before they did, that I was on the computer or I was playing, Nintendo 64 or Nintendo NES, like the first one. or when they went to bed, I pretended to stay up watching TV, and I would leave the TV on, and then I'd go and play my console, or the Xbox, or the computer.
Right.
I don't think I'm going to do the same thing with my kid, and I may or may not regret it. We'll see. Tell you what, though, I won't regret it if he goes and beats a bunch of gamers of a certain persuasion and make a lot of money for a couple of hours of gaming, if you know what I mean.
No, it's too late at night for us to work out on it.
Bunch of Asian gamers there.
Hang on, I mean, heavy combat. Like arena stuff and all that.
I don't care what game it is. I can't beat non-Asian PvP players.
I can't PvP full stop.
Nope.
There was that fabulous time we created that arena team when it was in that Rock of the Lich King. So we set up our nice skilled arena team, 5v5. Five of us said, right, let's do this. Finally, we've discussed it well enough. And we went in for one skirmish, and the other team, 2 of their players didn't show up, and they had a flawless victory against us. And we never spoke of it again. We outnumbered them 5-3, and they won with all 3 of their players still up.
Damn, I wasn't quite that bad. I had a few successes. Jesus. 2 versus 2 and 3 versus 3. I think the one 5v5 I did do with a couple. See, I had a 3v3 and a 2v2, and me and the guy from the 2v2 and a couple of friends from the 3v3 and one of our other mutual friends decided to do a 5v5. Put a strategy together. We're like, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to do 10 games, regardless of whether we win or lose. And we'll take the first one, we'll analyze it, and we'll change our strategy if we need to. So, we did the first one. It was like, okay, we just got our asses handed to us. Like, literally, they ripped it off and put it in our hands.
Wow.
Change our strategy. Went in, and it happened again. We're like, okay, we're not gonna get, discouraged. We've done this before. We'll just do it. We'll just do it. Change the strategy up. Change your strategy up. Cut our asses handed to us again. And we're like, okay, that was actually really bad. We did worse than the last time. So let's just go back to our original. Went in there, and we got our asses handed to us again. And we were like, okay, we're just gonna make it up as we go. But we went in there like a 4th or a 5th time, and we got a little bit further, and kind of raised our hopes. And the next 2 games we got crushed, and we were like, fuck it, we're done. We were so like frustrated. We were just like, we're going back to 2v2 and 3v3.
Right.
And that was the end of the 5v5.